This is Doug Ruffin from Urban Legacy Filmworks, coming to you with something somewhat new, kind of a new approach to a project that I'm working on and hoping to be working on and hoping to continue. This is going to be the first of hopefully many vlogs. I've never really done a vlog before, but this is going to be a vlog. I'm going to call it the Riot Chronicles. Looking to do a documentary on that tells the story of the riots that took place in Buffalo in the summer of 1967. Give you a little brief snapshot of it. Started on June 26th of 1967 during a police brutality situation that occurred. And it kind of led to a real uprising and blow up in Buffalo's black community, particularly around the Sycamore, Jefferson, William Street area, I believe it was. And did a little bit of research on it. The riots went on for like several days after the 26th. Some people call it a long, hot summer. There had been riots occurring like in different parts of the country, due to the death of Dr. King and other situations similar to that. But I had done a couple other documentaries in the past on the BUILD organization and on the Buffalo Model Cities Agency, and we referenced the riots in there. But I remember during the time I was producing BUILD in particular, I was looking, I had heard, in some of the interviews, the riots were referenced, but I tried to look into it, but I wasn't able to find any film footage. I found film footage of everything else, but I wasn't able to find any film footage of the riots that took place. That wouldn't have been till years later. I saw a documentary piece done on Martin Sostry, and there was footage of the riots in that piece, which I used in future when I redid the BUILD documentary and I did Model Cities, where it was referenced also. But there's really never been anything in full done on the riots. And recently, I was sent something on a site called historicfilms.com that has a lot of stock footage of different things. And it happened to have the Buffalo Riots on there, and I saw the riots there, and it absolutely blew my mind. And I downloaded some of the low-res MP4s just to use it as a reference point. And there's also another Facebook group called Timeline that actually utilized some footage that I had of the Juneteenth festival, first Juneteenth festival, when they commemorated Juneteenth, which I was really appreciative of. And so just seeing all that kind of got me bit by a bug, by that documentary bug again. So I'm actually interested in looking at some of the stories, hearing some of the stories of the Buffalo riots, how it happened. I know a little bit about how it happened, but I never really got really deep into how it took place and, what resulted from it. Part of what resulted from it was the some of the businesses were really affected by it for years to come. Many of the businesses never recovered from it. A lot of that area never really recovered from it after the riots took place. So, and there's never really been. I believe there was a book that was written. I may be mistaken. I may not be, but I do believe someone wrote a book about it. So I'm gonna be currently trying to get my hands on that, and just for reference points. But the first step, major step that I'm going to do in terms of getting this documentary and bringing it to fruition will be to see how I can acquire the rights to the film footage. And then once I get the information on that, we'll go from there and see what other avenues it takes. So I'm going to wrap this up right now. I'm going to send out this email to a couple sources and with the Historic Film site. And I'll be back with you with another vlog of the Riot Chronicles. All right. God bless.